Welcome to Vail, Colorado, and the historic Burton US Open. I'm Louis Vito, and I'm going to be giving you an intimate and inside look from the top of the course with all the riders. Every year, the Burton US Open brings the world's best snowboarders together. And today, women like defending champion Jamie Anderson, Haley Langland, Zoe Sinnott, and more will all be competing to earn their spot in the finals. So don't go anywhere. Women's Slopestyle semifinals starts now.
Welcome, everybody, to the 2019 Burton US Open. It is a beautiful Bluebird day here in Vail, Colorado. Not a stitch of snow out of place. Sal Masekela here with Tina Dixon, former X Games competitor, former US Open competitor. Tom Monterosso, former editor of Snowboarder Magazine. Louis Vito getting us started right.
Love it.
Fired up at the top. We're going to have 96 total runs of slopestyle for you today between the men and the women. So if you are feeling snowboard deprived at all in your life, come into our wonderful adulting living room here and hang out for 96 runs of shred.
And it's a semifinals. And so what I like about it is for those riders or for those viewers that want to see riders that maybe are not always in the finals, today is your chance to do that. There's 32 competitors on the men's side that we'll see later today. And then on the women's side, we have 15 competitors. So we're going to see a lot of different names show up today, and they each get 2 runs trying to prove themselves and get into that esteemed finals.
Yeah, and it's really cool because you're going to see the veterans like Jamie Anderson, but you're also going to get to see some of the newcomers, girls like Celia Petrig, stuff like that, who I'm not even very familiar with the riding. So as an announcer and just a fan of snowboarding, I'm really excited to see what they're going to bring to the table.
And when you look back at this event, stemming all the way back to 1982, this is the snowboarding event that sets the standard for what progressive snowboarding looks like, but it's also the place where names are made. People's careers are born from the U.S. Open. As we said at the top, a clearly perfect day here at Vail as we take another look from the top. Nothing but blue skies and the official weather, 37 degrees Fahrenheit. That's just perfect snowboarding weather. Very light wind that we see today, only 7 miles an hour. As we know here in Vail Valley, wind can be a factor, so we'll keep our fingers crossed and hope that things stay that way. But to that point, because the weather can change, these might just be the semifinals on paper, but from a run standpoint, athletes really need to make a choice as to how much they want to hold back.
Yeah, this could potentially be the finals, and we've seen it happen in the past. As last year on the women's side of things, the semifinals ended up being the final score and ended up naming our winner after that. So that always plays in the athlete's mind, and it's kind of a tricky thing to balance out because you want to qualify. So the question is, do I do my hardest trick today? And I think it's going to be a question going into the second run.
Absolutely, and you do want to qualify, but it also comes into it where it's 2 runs today.
Right.
In finals, it's 3 runs, so it's a game of strategy, really.
Well, 2018, that was exactly the case. Going into it, we were unsure whether or not the finals would run, and semifinals ended up being the runs that scored and ended up setting our podium. We'll take a look first off at Julian Marino's run from last year.
Yeah, Julia had an incredible showing here in semifinals. So the course this year is pretty similar to last year. We're going to show you a course preview in a little bit. We have this really cool transitional feature, but it was a 3-rail island into a 3-jump line, and Julia Marino put down. I don't think this is a very safe run for Julia Marino. She was pedal to the metal dropping in on run 1.
Yeah, and especially these bottom 2 jumps. Look at that, a backside 720, and then she combines it here. This bottom jump here at the U.S. Open is usually very big, and they get a lot of pop from it, so I think we're going to see some big jumps from that. So back-to-back 720s for Julia Marino. I would anticipate something similar and even something more. And then Anna Gasser with that second-place finish from last year.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Anna is out this year with an injury, but I think we're going to get her in the booth sometime this week. She is in Vail, and she is definitely every single event, she is the biggest competitor to Jamie Anderson, who is the reigning queen of women's slopestyle riding. But yeah, Anna put down an incredible run here last year, taking home 7th place. As you just said, Tina, look at this third and final jump last year. It was a doozy, and this year, I'd say the third and final jump is a whopper. That is a big jump that the girls are looking at down there.
It always is. I love watching Anna ride. Hopefully we'll get a chance to speak to her later today. But Jamie Anderson was the one that took the win last year, and this was her run.
Yeah, Jamie is always the favorite. I mean, she is the best to ever strap a pair of boots on. There's no question about that. She's always the one to beat. And I think going into a day like today, any semifinal, I mean, tell me if you agree, Jamie always has the advantage. She's so strategic. She is so confident, and she's so consistent. She's
so adaptable, too. Whatever the course offers you, she can adapt, and she knows how to put those puzzle pieces together, whether it's a semifinals or a final.
And there's a reason why Jamie Anderson has won six U.S. Open slopestyle titles, as well as a bigger U.S. Open title to go with that. That is pure domination.
Yeah.
You talk about that course, things a little bit different this year. That's what this event is all about. It is progression. Let's take a look at these features of joy.
Yeah, there's 3 rail islands to start out. You see right in the middle there that cannon rail, the pole jam, and riders I've seen in practice have been transferring from that cannon over to the other rails. So it's a plethora of options there in the top part of the course. 2 24-footers, a 36-foot straight down bar, and here's that transitional feature.
So we have those 3 rails up at the top, and then it goes into the jump section. That first jump, 60 feet. And some riders use this as the setup jump, but take a look at this, Tom. It's a transitional feature, another one, and you have to hit it. In the past, they had a jump option. That's no longer there, and that's going to set them up for that bottom giant kicker.
Yeah, and so basically you're redirecting from the spine into the jump landing. This is how it's all going to be scored. There are 6 features scored 10 points apiece. That gives you a total trick score of 60 points. But where does the other 40 points come in? That's going to be your flow score.
My favorite.
Yeah, the flow score, it's overall impression. And I think for the viewers, it's sort of what you watch and like, I like that run. I don't like the run. And the judges think of it the same way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really comes down to feel, right?
Yep.
Like that person did some great tricks here, some great tricks there, but how did that overall run make me feel as a human being, either here on the couch or at home? As we mentioned, 16 women to start in these semifinals. We do have an injury that we saw in practice. We'll find out whether or not we will have an entire field of 16.
That's right. And it's 2 runs. Best run counts, but it is 16 of the best women's slopestyle riders in the world. And as we were talking about, there's some newcomers, there's some veterans, so we have a very varied field of competitors here today in women's slopestyle semifinals.
I love this field.
Me too.
I absolutely love it because you do have the veterans like a Jamie Anderson, but then you have someone like Zoe Sadowski-Sanat, who has had a phenomenal year this year. She told me, though, that she's a little bit concerned about that transitional feature, and so that really is going to be, I think, a difference maker today, is that transitional feature and how those riders hit it. But then you have women like Jules Marino, Celia Norndal, and someone like Lori Bluin who could easily sneak in there.
Absolutely. Yeah, that transitional feature is going to be a really fun one to watch. It's kind of going to be the equalizer here today. And classic U.S. Open, just throw in a random feature, break up the monotony of the rail, jump.
What are you really made of? That's basically what the U.S. Open is all about. Taking a look at our start list. No particular order. It's kind of just thrown together. Celia Petrick starting first there. And who's the name that you're looking forward most, T-Bird, to learning about?
I am very, very interested to see dropping 5th there, Annika Morgan from Germany. I'm unfamiliar with her riding. I've heard her name come up in conversations many times, but I'm very excited to see what she's going to bring to the table today.
Yeah, and you also have to watch out for those Japanese women, Miyabi Onitsuka and Rira Iwabuchi. They know how to hit jumps. They both have 1080s. We could potentially see that today from them and some other women. So there's a lot of talent here on this slopestyle list.
And a young field.
Yes.
in general between the men and the women. We were talking before we got started. For me, as a goofy footer, it's always sad to say. But once again, the field dominated by regular footers. But first up, a goofy footer. Celia Petrig from Troslau, Switzerland. And I know that I'm supposed to be unbiased, but I root for goofy footers.
I don't blame you.
Well, there are less of us on the planet, and so therefore I have to.
So Celia Petrig getting ready to drop in and officially kick off the U.S. Open Snowboarding Championships here in Vail, Colorado.
Oh, yeah, she has that really fun job of being the first one to drop here. But good for her, you know, to come out and be here in the semifinals at the U.S. Open. What a great opportunity.
Starting things off with a 50-50 to board slide, and then a front blunt slide 270.
Ooh.
Then up and over the Red Bull Rainbow feature with that board slide.
And then a front flip on that first jump. We did not see that earlier, did not expect to see that there. And there's that transitional feature that we are going to have to keep our eyes on. She just goes straight off of that and then finishes off her line with a front side 3, a little loose, and then a fall on that landing. So
we talked about what difference that transition section was going to make, and I believe we just saw that, T-Bird.
Absolutely, 100%. As we see here, a quick replay, 50-50 to board slide.
She got the full 10 points because that was sick.
That was very sick. And then board slide 270, and then up and over that rainbow rail there. Front side lip slide. Lands that nice and clean right in the sweet spot. And then here we're going into that transitional feature.
So that's the first jump that she did the front flip on. And then this is the transitional feature where she just goes straight, and look at that score, a 3.6. That's not what you want to get there. So we really do have to keep our eyes on that, and then finishes up with a front side 3. Has some problems there on the landing, but does have one more chance to go up. And you know what? That top section for her, those rails were good.
Oh, absolutely.
That's not direct.
They would hold up in any finals. But yeah, like you said, it's not just rails into the transitional and then the jumps. You have to hit a jump, then hit the transitional feature, and then end your run strong on the money booter.
Yep.
All right, you're all set. Have fun.
Next up, Haley Langland from San Clemente, usually part of America, known for its surfers. I believe Haley also surfs.
She does
and
surf.
rips.
Starting things off with a 50-50 transfer there off the pole jam into a proper nose press. Coming into that rainbow rail. Board slide up and over. So a strong rail section from Haley.
And what's interesting is that was actually, I think, somewhat conservative for Haley on the rails. So obviously trying to get just this first run down to her feet, get it landed in a solid score. But look at that backside 5 off of the transition hit. That is how you do it. And then a cab 720 to round things out. So fantastic first run for Haley Langland.
I've liked this girl's style since I first saw her a few years ago at X Games. But man, it seems like every year she's just like, oh, you thought that's all I had? Watch this. Demoed the course.
Yeah, she has incredible style. She just does it with ease, and that's something that transcends even the biggest snowboard fan. Anyone who watches her ride, even if they don't snowboard, it just looks smooth. It just looks clean.
It just looks effortless, and she made this backside 540. Look at the score she got on that, an 8.5, and that could be the difference maker. And then the bottom, a cab 720. Now, on that bottom jump, we could potentially see her do a cab 1080. She does those so nice.
Exactly.
But right now, just, semifinals, get that first run under the belt.
If you'll notice, as we see a nice score for Haley Langland, we skipped a couple of riders in that order. Ty Schnorrenbus and Courtney Rummel did not drop. We'll go and check in right now with Louis Vito for more.
Yeah, so practice was a little delayed. Unfortunately, we had 2 injuries with Courtney and Ty. Taking some slams, it was really firm this morning, but the contest is underway. The course is fast, and as you can tell, the ladies are putting it down.
Thank you very much, Louis Vito, a.k.a. T-Bird's mom's favorite snowboarder.
Without a doubt, without question. She loves Louis Vito.
As Lori Bluen on course.
50-50 front side 360 coming into the final rail island. Front side lip slide coming into the first jump switch.
She's going here for that cab double underflip and just stomps it. Perfect. On that first jump, too. And then a backside 360 off of that. And then rounds things out. Oh! Sits down on the bottom jump.
On the front side 5 on the final jump, and she is gutted right now. She had the run of the day going. Her rail section was super smooth. She had the double underflip. She greased that transitional feature, and you're really seeing that transitional feature come into play as to where it can either make or break a run here in semifinals. But there's the lip slide to fakie. And then starting off your jump line with a cab 9 double cork is ridiculous, because if you go down there, it's game over.
Yeah,
the whole run is done.
She's been so consistent with those this year, and she proved why she feels confident enough to do that on the first jump. But I really liked that backside 360. Got a little offline on that, but that bottom jump with that score of a 1 will hurt her.
Bluen from Stoneham, Canada. Enjoys spending time on her dirt bike when not on her snowboard. And she will have to dig a little bit deeper in that bottom half of the course in her second run. As we head back up to the top, Annika Morgan from Mittenwald, Germany. Started snowboarding when she was 6 years of age, also a figure skater.
Starting things off with a board slide pretzel into a switch board slide 270, and then a switch board slide back to regular. Insane rail section.
I mean, that was probably the most difficult rail section we've seen so far. And now she heads into the jumps. She's a goofy foot, right foot forward, so just go straight on that one. And then their final jump, she'll spin a backside 360. So keeping those bottom 2 jumps relatively conservative, but that top section?
That was ridiculous. Yeah, that was a really impressive rail section. But right now, you're feeling good if you're Annika Morgan. You put a run to your feet, you get another run to step up whatever score comes in. But check that board slide pretzel. It was actually switch board slide pretzel is a ridiculous trick.
And she's scoring big on these, an 8 and then a 7.
And that's what I love about the US Open. There are a lot of other events where the rail section was for a long time could be considered like, oh, well, that's just something that you do to get to the jumps. But at the US Open, each rail section counts for as much as each jump section. And that's why this is my favorite part of it's a true slopestyle event.
Yeah, gone are the days where you just get through the rails in order to rack up points on the jumps. You have to ride everything equally well.
And that performance in the top section for Annika fully proves that point as she is in second place. Taking a little look up at the top in the warmer tent as Yuka Fujimori from Nagano, Japan. Her favorite place to ride, Niseko. I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
Only perhaps because it's just like the Groundhog Day of powder snowboarding.
So switch board slide back to regular. And looked like she was trying to go board slide 270, but just kind of didn't have the whip to get it all the way around. 50-50, front side 180.
And starts the jumps with a cab 540, goes giant on that, holds on to that landing. And then spins a front side 3, sort of takes that to her own style on that. And a backside. Oh, looks like she was trying to go for the 720, but it's when you're off your line from the start, it plays into your entire run. Yuka has one more run, and she's a really experienced competitor. If you look back at her history in competitive snowboarding, it has included snowboard cross racing and slopestyle. So she's been doing this a very long time. So talk about mental strength. She does have that and the ability to put this run out of her mind.
Yeah, Yuka is just a really good all-around rider. I mean, I've seen stuff on social media of her riding powder in Japan. I mean, she knows how to ride everything in front of her. And I think, unfortunately, in the rail section, she just had that little bit of a bobble there. And that's almost more a mental than a physical thing. It just kind of throws you off your game. And this is unfortunately going to be a throwaway run for Yuka Fujimori. But you will see her second run. Hopefully she can put one down and get up into that top 6, because that's the cut right there. They're going 16-6. That is a harsh cut.
It's so harsh.
It's the no love cut.
That's right.
It is the no love cut. Thanks for coming out. We have some nice prizes for you at the door in these semifinals. Next up from Canada, regular footer Jasmine Baird.
Thanks.
19 years of age.
And this is another one of those riders where I've heard the name Jasmine Baird for a couple years now, but have not had the pleasure of watching her ride in person. So I'm really excited to see what she's going to come out with. Starting things off with a switch board slide back to regular. 50-50 backside 360. And the rider's definitely favoring that rainbow feature.
Coming into this first jump switch, going for a cab inverted 540. And then a front side 360 and holds on to that. That was close.
How? How though?
And a backside 720 landed, top to bottom landed run.
Yeah, and that's really a confidence builder for someone like Jasmine Baird, who this is the first time I've seen her ride at the Burton US Open. That's got to be a pretty intimidating course to look down, when you're officially in this competition. So for her to just put one to her feet, get a score on the board, and work from there, I think that's a successful run from Jasmine Baird.
Oh, absolutely.
There's that 50-50 backside 360, and you'll see in the bottom right corner of the screen, that is the live rank of what the judges are scoring each individual trick as. Another cool thing about the Open is the scoring system. It's so transparent, and you see exactly what the judges are seeing.
And the best score for her on this run was the bottom jump, a backside 720 with that score of 7.2.
It's that 30.6 for Jasmine Baird.
The flow score coming in 18.4. That'll give her a 49. That'll put her in third place for the moment.
We are up and running and flowing on this beautiful day. It's great to start the event off just like this. Haley Langland is our definitive leader at present, and if you are enjoying this day one of the Burton US Open of snowboarding, please communicate with us, get involved, send us messages, say hello via social. You can follow us, of course, at Red Bull Snow, at Burton Snowboards. One of my favorite things about this event is that if you get on the Red Bull or Burton Facebook channels, you can actually ask us questions, make some statements, let us know how you're feeling, and we will do our best to read your questions, answer them right here on set.
Yeah, I love that. I love watching shows where you can actually ask the announcers, hey, what's it like there? Just really get that more personal, I guess, feel of the event.
Yeah.
And that's what a live cat or a live stream is able,
I'm sure people are going to be like, what's up with you guys' living room? This set, by the way, shout out to our art department. This is nicer than my living room at home. I just want to move this thing back to the crib when we're done. Also from Canada, from Fort McMurray, here comes Brooke Voight. Goofy footer, riding with that right foot forward. Stand out at Whistler in British Columbia. One of my favorite places to ride. They've been getting absolutely hammered this season.
I think everywhere in the country has.
Yeah.
It's been unbelievable.
Pretty much if there's a mountain near your house, you've got a lot of snow in this season.
50-50 to frontside board slide. Into the 50-50 frontside 180. And then a little revert there back to her regular stance. And then 50-50 back one heading into the jump section.
So heading into this switch, going for a switch backside 540. And then now her regular stance, which is goofy, going for a backside 360 on that transition. Gets it around, misses the grab on that. And then a frontside 720, almost held on to that. I thought she had that for sure.
And you can hear the audio of those landings. Those are some firm landings right there. If you look at the way the sun is positioned, the takeoffs are in the sun, landings are in the shade. So those landings are pretty firm, and you can hear it.
I was talking to Haley yesterday, and I asked her how she was doing, and she said, my knees hurt. I was like, you're young, Haley Langley. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, the landings. She said, they're so hard. She's like, I'm just kind of taking it easy today and saving it tomorrow because these landings are firm and you feel them.
Absolutely. And I think more so than anything, this transitional feature is really proving the point we talked about in the pre-show. It's the difference maker.
Yep.
It comes down to it. Look at Haley Langland with that backside 540, stomped clean, kept her speed into the final jump. She's your current leader right now.
You could say that it is the section that will really expose you.
Yes.
As an overall snowboarder.
Yep.
If you've trained for the traditional 3-rail, 3-jump format, this is going to throw a whole new wrench in your line.
Absolutely.
Look up at the party tent up top. Vibes, vibes, vibes. Probably like a cross between people being on social media and actually watching the event. Annika Morgan, one of my favorite riders from Finland. Ton of power.
So much power and so much consistency. Annie has been so good for so long, and you're going to see why. Tail press there on that second rail feature. 50-50 backside 360 heading into jump one.
At about 100 miles an hour.
So after almost near perfect rail section, heads into that first jump, the front side 720.
Woo!
Backside 180 that was just absolutely near perfect. I want to do backside 180s like that. And then a cab 720 at the bottom. I think that's our new leader.
There it is. That was an insane run from any rookie RV.
Not a shred of hesitation anywhere on that course. Full on SFD, full power.
Absolutely. That's what I love about any snowboarding is it is full speed, 100 miles an hour at all times.
And consistently like that.
Yep.
Like she's consistent with her riding, and that's why I think she's so great as well.
Look at that 7.8.
Consistent.
And then here it is again, that transitional feature. Super smooth, perfectly executed backside 180. And that's just a setup trick for the cab 720 to end her run. That scored a 7.8 out of 10. And you got to think with a run like that, the flow score is going to come in pretty big too.
Trick scores 39. How much out of a 40? 33.2 on the flow score. And yes, just like that, Tina, you called it. The standard has been set. 72.2, the new mark for Ruukajärvi in first place. We got ourselves a semifinal, friends.
We got a shootout. Oh, yeah.
From Japan, Reira Iwabuchi, nickname Layla.
Starting things off. 50-50 backside 360 into the board slide 270.
17 years of age.
And you would not be able to tell by her snowboarding. She is smooth.
Especially on the jumps. That's where her strength lies, starting off with that backside 720. Heading into this transitional feature and does not hesitate at all. Gets that 540 around and now heading switch into this. Going for a cab 900 and comes up a bit short on that. That's a bummer because she had such a good run going.
That was a heartbreaker. She had an unbelievable run going. But kudos to Reira Iwabuchi for going for that cab 9. That is a firm knuckle right there. There's that 50-50 backside 360 into the board slide, 270 out. And then up on that Red Bull Rainbow feature, she went board slide into the backside 720.
Scoring a 7.9 on that. Her strengths are the jumps. I was really curious to see how she would handle this transitional feature, and look at that 540 with an 8.4 score.
That was insane.
But just that fall at the end.
If she can put that run down, that's a top 3 on
easily.
Where we're standing right now.
Yeah.
Again, you see the balance of the scoring, right? That fall didn't really affect the technical score too much, but that flow score, only a 13.1.
Exactly.
Gentlemen, I would recommend you go to the Burton pop-up store and get a nice hat with a visor.
Everyone looks nice and comfortable up in the riders' tent there.
Yeah, nice crowd for the first day one as well. Beautiful look at Vail Valley in Onitsuka. Miyabi Onitsuka's lenses there. Shout out to the cameraman. That was an Emmy-winning shot.
I like that. All right, Miyabi Onitsuka on course, run 1, gap out, front side board slide to fakie. Half cab on, 50-50 backside 360 out. And then a board slide to fakie to wrap up the rail section.
And on this first jump, she goes cab 540. Big, holds the grab on that entire jump. And then a front side 360, holds on to that. Just one more jump for her. And she's another one of those riders, Tom, where I think her highlights are the jumps and a backside 720. So top to bottom landed.
And I think she stepped up her rail game. That was a really impressive rail section. I think when Miyabi was a little bit younger, she was focusing a bit more on jumps. But now, I mean, you see that 50-50 to front board, that transfer right there, you can tell she's actively working on becoming a better all-around slopestyle rider, and it shows in that run. Half cab on, 50-50 backside 360 out. That is a super technical trick to throw into the middle of a slopestyle run.
So here she approaches the jump section going switch. Goes for that cab 540, holds that grab the entire way. And Miyabi's another rider that if we do see her in the finals or potentially here, she's got a 1080 under her belt. But that score, that frontside 360, I think this was probably the highest score on that feature for her run. Well, 7.3 and then a 7.4 for the backside 720 mute. So the jump scores definitely were the highest for her, so she just needs to clean it up a tiny bit on those rails.
Right, and she did have a couple bobbles when she was riding away from the rails, stuff like that. It's all stuff that's very attainable for her second run. I think Miyabi is going to be a threat today on this slopestyle course. So good for second right now, right behind Annie Ruka-Järvi and in front of Haley Langland.
The intensity of the faces in the tent. Hi, friends.
Hello.
Goofy footer. Rooting for you, Julian Marino.
Yeah, Julia has become such an unbelievable slopestyle rider in the last couple of years.
Oh, exactly, and it has just been within the last couple of years. I mean, she really didn't come onto the scene until 2016, and that was mid-season.
That's right.
And from that time, from being really good at jumps, she has really stepped up her rail game as well, and just is the overall, complete package when it comes to slopestyle.
Will we see that Cab 9 dub from her?
I think so. Yes.
I think so, too.
She's so consistent with it. Here is potentially where we would see it, and there it is. Yeah, just stomps those landings.
Bang. Kelsey at home watching asked predictions for the craziest trick here in the semifinal.
Ooh.
You might have just seen it. That cab double underflip 9 is pretty crazy. That's a wild trick right there.
Yeah, and she makes it look so easy. So a good run for Julia Marino there.
Yeah, that was a really, really good run. Good first run to put on her feet for Julia Marino. Quick recap here. On the first rail, 50-50 to front side lip slide. And then the 50-50 front side 360 out. And then that third and final rail island. Front side lip slide. Coming out of it fakie, setting her up for this trick.
Yeah, the cab double underflip. She makes that look so easy. Watch that landing. I mean, there's no greater feeling than landing a jump and riding away like that. But I love how she approached this transitional feature with that crippler. The first one we saw do that.
Yeah, it was basically a half pipe trick in the middle of a slopestyle.
Yeah, after a cab double underflip.
Yeah.
Marino taking advantage of her transition skills as well. Solid score. And just like that, friends, we got a new leader.
We have a new leader. However, the next 3 riders to drop are incredible.
A strong, however.
Say the least.
There she is.
Look at those stats. 27 starts, 15 titles, 25 podiums.
If you're a numbers person, you bet on Jamie Anderson.
Absolutely.
She has won this event 6 times.
Okay, let me just bring this back a little bit.
She's like, let me just get my vibes right, guys. No worries. Just apologies.
Do you ride with music, Sal?
I do ride with music sometimes. Not when I'm riding powder, but out when I'm taking laps on a course like on a day like today. Definitely. Not too loud though, because I want to hear "On your right, old man," so I can get out of the way.
Speed up.
Speed up, you kook. Get ready to watch what perfect snowboarding looks like. Nice backside, lip side to start things off for Jamie Anderson.
And then board slide 270. Front board same way 270. Into the first jump section. There's that front side 720.
Oh man, that was clean. And this is what we were talking about for Jamie. Look at that backside 540. Oh, I'm just going to land this like it's nothing. And heading into this bottom jump switch.
She spun that so slow. That was absolutely incredible. She put it to her feet, but unfortunately not quite enough airtime to stomp.
Pressure on the champ.
So an uncharacteristic fall on that, but Tom, this top section.
I mean, that backside lip slide, it's one of the most classic tricks you can do on a rail, and she does it such justice. And there's that board slide 270 out.
Beauty.
And then I like on the third rail island that Jamie hit that middle cannon feature. Front blunt 270 out.
Judges felt the same way.
Yeah, that 8.9, and so she started off that jump line with a front side 720 with that mute grab scoring an 8.0, and I love this trick from her. That backside 540 Japan, getting a 9, but this bottom jump, the style was there. Just a little bit more airtime is what she needed.
Well, and I think that was a statement from Jamie Anderson right there, going for the cab 9 double cork. I think she knows what happened last year. She wants to qualify first. She wants to drop in that last spot in finals, and she wants a 7th title here at the US Open.
You're absolutely right, because in the past on semifinals, Jamie could have easily done a 5 there or
and still,
a 7 and qualified, but
right.
now she's like, nope, I'm going to do this.
Top spot.
Yep.
Well, that last run now just got that much more important for the defending champ. Louis Vito, you've got the interesting perspective of top. As you can see, the women are not playing around today. Your thoughts?
You know, it's so crazy when this is considered a semifinals and seeing some of these runs going down. You said Annie's such a powerful rider, and she put down such a powerful run. Julian Marino standing on top. I talked to Haley Langley, and she was just so excited because she said this is her first complete run she's landed at the US Open. And Jamie Anderson, of course, falling, and it's going to make for an exciting second run, but she's one of the most consistent slopestyle riders ever. So I'm excited to see what these ladies have for the second run.
Thank you, sir.
As are we.
Happy to have you. As on course right now is Zoe Sadowski-Sinat from Wanaka, New Zealand.
Yeah, absolutely insane rail section from Zoe. And there's that switch backside 9. One of the only girls in the world who's got that trick in a slope run. And a frontside 720. But unfortunately over-rotating in the landing just a little bit. But that run from Zoe Sadowski-Synot pretty much cemented the fact that she is the next big thing in women's slopestyle riding. That was insane.
Yeah, and I talked to her yesterday, and she was saying that her concern was that transitional feature, but she went for a frontside 720. I think she'll get this the next run, but the top section, I mean, look at the score right there, just right out of the gate.
She did a 360 off of a flat rail with a grab.
But the switch backside 900, she's one of the very few women that do it, and she does it really well. And I like the fact that she spun a 7 on this. Oh, just a little bit too over-rotated there on the landing. But I think for the lines and the tricks that she does, she'll probably do frontside 7 on that, and if she lands it, she'll go backside 9 on that bottom jump. And if she gets that, it's a top 3 run.
Absolutely. So Zoe Sadowski-Synot and Jamie Anderson not quite able to put down the run they wanted on run 1.
Run 2 is going to be interesting.
Oh, talk about some pressure.
From Norway, Silja Norendal.
Yeah, and Celia is, I think she's a favorite in any slopestyle event that she enters.
Yeah, I mean, X Games gold twice.
Yeah, she's coming off that win, too, at the Locks Open earlier this year.
Yep.
I mean, that was a big win for her. And she does have, I personally think, one of the best cab 900s in the business. She makes it look like butter.
Regular footer.
Starting things off with the 50-50 to 50-50 back 1 transfer. And then switch 50-50, switch back 1 off. And then board slide back to regular, coming into the jump section here.
So a big backside 720 on that first jump. Fantastic. And the transitional feature, frontside 540. Problems. So these top 3 women, these last 3 women both have had problems on the jumps,
and that,
all 3.
That transitional feature, it's a weird one because you kind of see the spectrum of edge lines where people are taking off. If you take off too high, you run the risk of knuckling pretty hard. If you take off too low, you run the risk of overshooting down into the flats. And that's kind of what Celia went a little bit too big there. And that's the game you play on that feature. So 50-50 to back 1 out there, transferring from rail to rail, and then switch 50-50 to switch back 1 out. One of the most technical tricks we've seen on that second rail island today. And then board slide back to regular. And this back 7 was a thing of beauty, though. She started the jump line off really well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she grabs right there, styles it out. It's a decent score of that 7.5, and then comes into the transitional feature with the frontside 540. And you said it, Tom, just the line and like being able to time that correctly and hit that wall. It's going to be, it's tough.
Yeah, I feel like with that feature both in the men's and the women's field today, those riders who grew up riding jumps and halfpipe do have a competitive advantage, because really what it is, it's a pipe hit in the middle of a slopestyle run.
Yeah.
It's a full pipe
said it
wall.
more perfectly. Well, taking a look at our standings after run 1, Julian Marino, Annie Rukayari, Miyabi Onitsuka, but look at where Jamie Anderson's at.
6th. You don't see that a lot.
That right now is the bubble spot with 1 more run to go.
And there you see Celia Norendal down in 10th, Zoe Sadowski-Synot in 11th. So the second runs are going to be fun.
Yeah, there's a couple surprises that happened there at the end of that competition, but I mean, it makes for really exciting semifinals, and I'm curious to see what Jamie will do. Will she stick with that same line and go for that trick at the bottom, or will she play it a little more conservative to maybe guarantee a spot? I guess she's going towards the end so she can see what everyone else does.
Exactly. She does kind of have that advantage in run 2, is she can sit back, see what scores people are putting up, and then kind of adapt from there. But that's what makes her such a threat, is she is so adaptable.
Everybody has the same conditions to deal with today, and it's mostly perfect. But it seems like that light to dark, light to shadow is a factor
Absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, too, you're in the sun on the takeoff, you're spotting your landing, which is in the shade, and it's firmer when you do touch down. So I think the light's playing a factor.
All right, we will see how this thing shakes out in run 2 here in the semifinals. The women are going to come back and do it again here at the 2019 Burton US Open of Snowboarding.
It's my pleasure to welcome Miss Annika here to the US Open Snowboarding Championships. Sadly, we're not going to see Anna riding. What's going on, Anna? You were just saying off camera that you're basically on vacation, enjoying everything else that the US Open has to offer. Sometimes things you maybe miss out because you're so focused on riding. How's it been?
Really like a spring vacation for me in the total different situation because normally I would be really nervous now right now and I'm just cheering on everyone riding.
Yeah, Anna, a lot of us have said at the moment women's slopestyle riding is possibly the most exciting discipline in snowboarding because you never know what you're going to see. The guys, of course, are killing it, the fighters and makeup. With the slopestyle, it's anyone's game. You're at the forefront of that progression, especially early on in the year with that capture butterfly finish too high. What about that then?
Yeah, she comes to all the rest of the rest. She can go out and pushing it so hard right now. And I see so many people in the days that I'm really excited for the time of the day.
Anna, I know you're down with all day.
Welcome back. Beautiful day here in Vail, Colorado at day 1 of the 2019 Burton US Open. I'm not going to lie, I almost said the Vulcan Pipe Pro. Because I was in Hawaii at Pipeline 2 weeks ago. But we're not Pipe anymore. We're at 8,000 feet in Vail.
I heard that. I was like, he's going to do it. He's going to say it.
I know that there was a pool last night at dinner as to whether or not that would happen.
Yeah, money.
My apologies to the fans at home. We got stakes here in this run 1 of the semifinals. We got 14 more runs to go here. We're talking before the break about strategy for the front runners, for the people we expect. How do you think it'll go down?
Here's what I think Jamie is going to do. You posed right before the break like what her run is going to be moving forward. I think, knowing Jamie, I think she's going to go for the same run. I think she's going to try to stomp it. I think she will stomp it. And I think she's going to end up very high up on that leaderboard.
Well, because now she's had a chance to hit it. Like before, you get practice and then she had to wait for almost, 13 or 14 riders before she took a run. So even though she still has to do it, she's had a chance to hit that jump in competition. I think she kind of understands it a little better. She knows what she needs to fix.
Yeah.
So Jamie Anderson is the best rider when it comes to those clutch moments, and I think she'll come through.
We'll see how it turns out for Silja Norendal. It's another one to watch.
And it's going to be interesting even for Haley Langland, right? She was in first for quite a while, sitting pretty comfortably. Now she's down in fourth. If Jamie, Celia, Zoe put down a run, she could potentially be bumped out of even the top 6. So I think Haley's got to come down for her second and final run and put crazy run together.
Yeah, I mean, everyone does. You can't count out the Japanese women. You've got Lori Bluen in there. I mean, everyone still has that fighting chance.
Yep.
Yeah, it hasn't been one of those semis where you're like, oh, well, there's 5 riders who are really like clear and cut and above. Everyone's shown that they have an ability to make this hard 6, and that's a small number, 6-person cut out of the 14 riders. As we are back up to the top of the field from Switzerland, the goofy footer, Celia Petrig. She had the nerves being the first one to go before. Now we'll see if she's in the flow.
Yeah, being the first rider to drop in a slopestyle semifinal is always tough. We've been through round 1. We're into round 2. Celia Petrig is putting it together. Front 270 out of that board slide there, and then a front side lip slide heading into the jump section. There's that front flip. Oh! So deep. Very, very deep.
Almost over-rotated.
She opened up that last part, and thank goodness she did, because it slowed her down.
I mean, for a split second, like right on takeoff, she took off with such force, I almost thought she was maybe going to try a double front flip.
Yes.
And then she slowed herself down. I mean, incredible air awareness from Celia Petrig. Because if that was your average citizen, it would have ended pretty poorly, I believe.
That's such a good point, because when I talk to the riders, a lot of it, too, is like, how do you adapt when you're in the air? Like,
exactly.
if something goes wrong or something happens, how do you fix and how do you get yourself out of that? She did it there.
As she did in her first run, came out in the first top section and went hard and fast at the rails.
And there is that front flip nose grab.
So able to open up and get that.
Right here, she's like, oh. Let me try and do what I can to slow myself down. We are about to welcome in a guest, a very special guest. Anna Gasser will be joining us on set here in just a second. But while she's not going to qualify, we are happy for Celia that she was okay. And like you said, had that air awareness to slow herself down.
Yeah, that was a great showing from Celia Petrig.
So there's James Jackson talking to Haley Langland now.
I mean, what awesome advice from a coach. Just cruise and have fun.
Yeah, and at the front of that, he said, do what you know how to do.
Yeah.
As we welcome in Anna Gasser, welcome. Thank you. We saw you just a second ago on camera, and then I was like, oh, she must have ran up here.
Yeah, I was fast.
Well, we know that you're out with injury and you'd much rather be competing, but what have you seen so far in this event?
It's been really cool to see, because girls don't do only semi-runs, they go full in. Like, normally there are no doubles already in semis, and it's really cool to see them send it. And Haley right now, I really like to run, like the back 5 she's gonna do, and this feature is so sick, so stylish, and big. Oh.
Yeah, this semifinal is riding like a final.
Yes.
If I were a general viewer and just tuned in right now and no one said anything, I would assume it's a final. The level of riding is through the roof
really
today.
High, and people taking a lot of risk too, I feel like. Maybe thinking about the weather on Friday.
Yeah.
Yes, and you guys know that's what happened last year, that you took the semifinal score, and but Haley Langland did have that first run score, that she's in that top 6 at this point. Her rails, I just love the style on this.
Yeah, you can tell she watches a lot of snowboard videos by the trick selection she chooses to do in the rail section of a slopestyle run. Something as simple but clean as a nose press in the middle of a slopestyle run, I think, is very, very cool.
Yeah, for sure, one of the most stylish rider for me out there.
And now Haley's going to have to watch, because we're only taking 6 people. What's it like when you're in that position where you're not quite at the bottom of the cut, but a few good runs and you can find yourself out?
I have to say, semifinals for me are so much more nerve-wracking than finals, because I kind of have to be strategic, and I'm not the best in being strategic, so I'm always have way more butterfly before semis, because I never know how much I have to do to be in for sure, so it's really nervous having to wait what the other ones are going to do.
Because if you're in finals, you're like, okay, worst case scenario, I'm getting 6th at the US Open. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You're already in. Semifinals seems like that's where there's more pressure.
Well, and I think, too, for you, Anna, you have so many big skills that you can do, and it's like, do I want to do them in the semifinals? So it is. There is a strategy, but like you said earlier, these runs are final runs.
Back on course with Lori Bluen.
50-50 to frontside board slide, transferring from rail to rail.
Oh no, did she do a revert?
She might have there. Frontside lip slide on the Red Bull Rainbow. And there's that cab 9 double underflip. And then on that transitional feature, backside 3, not able to put it down. Sent it a little bit too deep there.
Still going for it.
Ending things off with a frontside 7, but that is the equalizing feature today. There's no question about it.
Yeah, and Lori absolutely has the capability to be in that finals. She is a phenomenal rider in slopestyle. So it's unfortunate that she had problems on that. Anna, that transitional feature is new this year. What's your take on that and those types of features?
It makes it really interesting, and it's a big difference between riders, I feel like. And I would have been excited to try that out. I'm normally never hitting these features, but it makes you a better snowboarder if you have to adapt the course like that.
What would be your dream trick to land on that feature for you?
Well, really dream big would be like like maybe double crippler or something.
I like that answer.
That's
a really good answer.
I just pictured that in my head, and I was like, oh, yeah.
That's really like still dream. I've never tried this trick. I only done cripplers, but if there are perfect conditions and you're feeling it, why not?
Fast forward to a year from today, and we're calling a double crippler. I'm just kidding. No, I like that answer. It's a great answer.
You saw the disappointment in Lori's body language as she exited the bottom of the course, but now we are back up at the top with Annika Morgan from Mittenwald, Germany.
She's really good at rails.
I can tell she is. Super good rail rider.
I'm riding a lot with her back home. We're riding at the same resort. So I've been seeing her progress every year and getting better. It's really cool.
So starts off there with a frontside 360, and now the transitional feature just goes straight on that. But has that top rail section. I mean, she's so good at rails, as you said, Anna, and then finishes off with a backside 3. So the jumps somewhat on the conservative side. So let's see how those rails score and if that can make up for.
And right now she's currently sitting in 5th place. So she is up in that top 6.
And this is her first big competition, her first big jump she's been hitting, so that's a big step for her.
Yeah, I said actually at the start of the show, I was really excited to seeing Annika, take her 2 runs today, because I've heard the name before, but I had never seen her ride in person, and she did not disappoint. She's a very talented young lady.
Anna, what is that? Do you remember what that feeling was like that first time? Like, oh, I'm on the big stage here at the Open.
Yeah, it's really special to compete with your heroes. I'm sure Annika was really nervous just being on a list together with Jamie Anderson and all the other girls, and I talked to her, and she was so happy that she could come here. She knew she didn't have maybe the biggest tricks, but she just wanted to show good snowboarding.
Is it more pressure when you're the newcomer or when you're the kind of the established veteran, the one to beat?
I feel like when you're the newcomer, you don't have much to lose.
Right.
You can just, I think it's way harder if you're already there and you have big expectations in you.
Right.
That's what you call expert analysis from Anna Gasser as Yuka Fujimori is on course.
Half cab 50-50 right there on the second rail feature. Then a board slide to Fakie coming into the first jump.
Nice.
That cab 5 was nice.
She needs this run.
Yeah.
Gets the 360. All right, one more jump. This was where she had problems in that first run.
I think she's gonna try back 9.
Oh, backside 9. Unfortunately not able to put it down, but fully in control. I thought she was going to stomp that.
Well, this morning we were looking at it, that last jump. You said that sweet spot to land and feel comfortable is a really small window on that last jump.
It is. Yeah, you can overshoot that thing pretty easily, and that is a big jump down at the bottom of the course. So recap of Yuka Fujimori's run. There's the backside 900. Just landed a little bit in the back seat there.
Hard to believe that Yuka is 32 years old because she still rides with the same energy like she did when she was a little kid and she first came on the scene.
Yeah, it's incredible. She's a very, very talented rider. So yeah, that'll be it for Yuka Fujimori, but we got plenty more action about to go down. Jasmine Baird, currently sitting in 8th place.
From Georgetown, Canada, regular foot. Nothing to lose here for Jasmine.
Yeah, exactly. You're in 8th place. You're sitting on a first run score of 49. What do you do here, Anna? Just go all out?
Yeah, I've actually seen some Instagram video from Jasmine, and she's been riding really strong. She's also has the cap double, so I'm wondering if we're maybe even going to see that here.
I think now's the time. 50-50 backside 360, and then board slide to fakie. Will we see it here?
And we...
Almost. But so sick to see her try that.
On the first jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so rad that we've seen multiple double corks today in a semifinal.
Yes.
It just speaks to the progression of snowboarding in general.
And for someone too like Jasmine, who's relatively new on the the competition scene into the US Open, for her to pull that too on that first jump. I mean, she's like, I don't want to do a conservative mellow run. No, I'm going to throw out my big tricks.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, really, really strong showing from Jasmine Baird. Here's that 50-50 backside 360 out. And then the board slide to fakie set her up for this cab double 9.
Just a tiny bit over rotated.
But again, the air awareness. I think after the first flip, she knew she was going too big. So she got the second one around, opened up, put it to her feet. Really good air awareness.
But from a rider's perspective, Anna, if you have a trick in mind that you want to do and you don't do it, does it weigh on your belt? Like for her, if she didn't do that trick and did something else, would she go home and go, I should have done that?
I think, yeah, that's how it is. And especially for me, if I don't do the tricks I have in mind or that I want to show and even do good, it doesn't weigh that much. Like I could win with tricks I'm not proud of and be happier with a third place with tricks I wanted to show.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, that's a true competitor's mentality right there.
As you see, our leaderboard, our six that are safe for right now. One of the great features this year in competition is the Burton bonus hit. So if you do fall in the middle of your run and you still want to not just show the crowd, but actually make a little cash, there is a little side pot for the best performance on the last jump.
Yeah.
What does that do for your mindset on course?
I think that's really cool, and it's like one of those things where we're going to see progression too, especially in the women's side.
Yeah, and what's cool about it too is it can be anything. It could be a trick off the knuckle.
Right.
It doesn't have to, it could be a rail trick. It could be a jump trick or
A
on the
really
transition.
stylish trick, maybe.
Exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see what wins that when all is said and done.
We shall see. As next up is Brooke Voight, also from Canada, from Fort McMurray. 5'7", goofy footer. She rides at 15-15 front and back in her stance.
Ooh, good save.
50-50 back one with a grab. That was nice.
That was
Even a
beautiful.
little tweak in there.
Big.
Switch back 5 to the deep end. Call the lifeguard. That was huge.
Is this course, do you think it might be speeding up? At that first jump, we've seen a couple falls now already. Do you think they're just going at it too hard, or there's just, it's the second run and the pressure and the expectation is there?
Yeah, maybe it's changing a bit, but I feel normally you can feel it when you ride into the jump. I think maybe they just want to go big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I know, I do. I like that answer. Just what they want to do.
So
Because if she
unfortunately,
landed that would have been really nice.
that would have been
It would've,
really,
yeah.
really good scoring run
Good
for Brooke
style.
Voight. I love that switchback 5.
That. Oh.
Unfortunately, that will not be enough for Brooke Voight. You know what I'm finding really interesting here is looking at these scores come in. Jamie Anderson is still currently on the bubble. When's the last time you were in run 2 of the semifinal and Jamie Anderson was on the bubble? That does not happen very often.
I don't remember.
It really is. I mean, that just goes to prove it's anybody's game today. Julian Marino still currently your leader. And this lady right here, Eni Rukajärvi, sitting in second place. Now, if you're Eni, do you go for it now? You're in second pretty comfortably. You try to get up into first. What do you think, Anna?
I think she's gonna try to like maybe progress on her rails, or maybe I told her to go back 5 out of the second feature, out of the side hits. So let's see if she listened to me.
Cool.
Coach Gasser.
Some good inside info right there.
Second rider in a row. Looks like hitting a little deep on that jump.
Yeah, it looked like in the first run the main problem feature was that transitional feature, but it looks like
bonus hit,
having a little bit of trouble with the first jump now. Maybe it is speeding up because they're definitely going bigger on that first jump.
Yeah.
Well, one thing about Eni, she does not know how to dial it back. She only really knows how to go hard.
Yeah,
which is fun for us.
Yeah. There's that 50-50 to board slide. Opposite way out. 50-50 back 3.
That was really nice.
People forget how wrong things can go on that trick.
Oh, yeah. Frontside 7.
And again, went big and just a tiny bit over-rotated. Still sitting on that very big first run score.
I think she's pretty safe.
Yeah, I think first or second place right now, you're feeling pretty good about making that top 6.
Some radical things would need to happen for Eni to get knocked out of the box. I love the mid-century furniture feel of the entire set, our set as well as the rider's tent. It's a vibe.
This is nice.
Nice furniture.
Sal's already put in the bid.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this table. Trying to go home with the table. Reira Iwabuchi, Leila.
Nice start.
Yeah, front blunt same way 270, and board slide 270 out.
And she is a phenomenal jumper. So coming into these jumps, this is where I think she really shines.
Ooh.
See, that backside 720 was massive. And then gets the front side 540. So this is...
Will we see the cab 9?
Oh, no.
Not quite able to get it all the way around. On the first run, she kind of knuckled on that cab 9. Second run, hit the sweet spot, but landed a little heavy on that heel edge.
That would have been a really strong run.
That would have been an insane run.
I'm even going to say that if she had a 360 on that last hit, she might move up.
Or cab 5.
Yeah, because right now...
Or cab 5.
Yeah, she's currently sitting in 7th place. One spot out of that top 6.
But Leila is also one of those riders that always goes full in.
Yeah.
Even if she doesn't have to, and I kind of respect that.
I've noticed, too, I've always kind of known her as a really good jumper, and it seems like she's put a lot of work into her rail riding. She stepped it up a lot. That was from the last couple of years.
So sick, that back 7.
Yeah, and even if she, like you said, Tom, maybe a 540, if she landed that, she would have gotten in there. But that's not the mentality, and that's not the mentality in this semifinals.
Exactly.
That's not what we're seeing.
It's what you and Anna just talked about. She might have made it up into that top 6, but then all day, should have done the 9.
Yeah.
I should have done the cab 9.
Yeah.
And Anna said when she first sat down, this semi feels like a final.
Yeah.
And that's what every single rider has done. We'll find a strong performance from Iwabuchi. Very entertaining. We'll see plenty more from her in the future as it will be back up to the top for Miyabi Onitsuka. And Anna, that flow impression score that you get here at the Open, how much does that count for the overall importance for you when you think of style and snowboarding?
I think it's really important because snowboarding is kind of flowy and it's a lot about style, and that score just means that you cannot just get away with technical stuff. You have to also look smooth and be stylish.
And so much of snowboarding, too, is the grabs, and that's where,
That was a mega save.
Mega save.
So Miyabi Onitsuka on course for run 2.
Nice cab 9.
Cab 900. Into that transitional feature in the middle of the course. Frontside 360
really
off the toes.
Power of the squat.
And then backside 720. So Miyabi Onitsuka currently sitting comfortably in 3rd place with a first run score of 66.1. That might be an improvement.
Yeah, she made up for that sketchiness on the second rail.
Yeah. Yeah, she is a very impressive young rider. Look at this, 50-50 transferring.
Jeez.
Look at the flex on
good.
that
That was
snowboard
nice.
when she lands to frontside board slide. And then here's the switchboard slide. Whoa! That could have gone sideways, literally and figuratively, real quick.
I felt that deep
everyone
in my
got
cells.
butterflies, yeah.
Such a good save.
And there's that cab 900.
That landing was great.
Watch the power of the squat coming out of this.
This was really nice too.
You're just falling out of the sky at that point. You may as well jump out of the second story of the Manor Vail into a snowbank. That is absolutely
Lands that
unbelievable.
720, rides away.
Style, ability to save, athleticism.
And that was the complete run, and including the save.
So she does improve, staying in 3rd place, but upping that score by a couple of points from her first run.
Next up, Marino.
And I'd feel pretty comfortable saying that Julian Marino is looking good in 1st place right now. She's going to make that top 6. She had an insane first run. She's been your leader for quite a while.
So Anna, when you're in first like this, how do you treat this run?
I would take it as a practice run, I think. Maybe even try bigger tricks, because finals could still come up.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
who knows if the weather is bad and Jamie and Zoe are behind me still dropping. So I would try to like do something else, do something bigger maybe, or a more hard trick.
I love that she does that on that. What you were saying, it's more of like a pipe trick that she's taken to the slopestyle, and then finishes off with the backside 720. I mean, so 2 super solid runs for Julia Marino here.
Yeah, Julia has been so consistent today. Check out a recap of her rail run. 50-50 to frontside lip slide there. And then a 50-50 frontside 360 out. A frontside 360 off of a rail, a round rail that's that thick is a very, very difficult trick. And then there's the cab double cork 900 into the crippler.
And then finishes off with the backside 720. Just putting the final touches on her run.
Yeah, she holds the grab for so long. And, you know, it's stuff like that that the judges see and attribute to your flow scores. How long you hold the grabs.
Nice tech score, 40.2.
Wow.
And just ups it. Confidence builder.
And Julia has more. She's got more that she could do on that bottom jump.
So 3 riders left to drop, and only one of those 3 are currently in the top 6.
Ooh.
And it's Jamie Anderson, but she's sitting in 6th.
So she goes, and then Zoe, who's outside of that top 6.
Yep.
And then Celia.
And then Celia, outside the top 6 as well.
Jamie had so good rails in her first run. Like, for sure the best rails out of anyone.
Definitely, yeah.
Did you get a chance to speak to her after that first run?
Yeah, I did speak to her, and I think she's gonna, like, I don't think she would need the double, but she's gonna go for it again. That's what she said.
Because Jamie Anderson.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Because Jamie Anderson.
And this is really impressive.
So front board, same way, 270. Into the front side 7.
Wow.
Wow. That was crazy.
Well,
backside 5. Unfortunately, not able to put it down. Jamie Anderson is going to remain on the bubble in 6th place.
This is a big surprise.
This is a huge surprise.
Ooh, wow.
And it wasn't that transition feature that we were worried about.
No.
Anna said that she was going to go for that double again on the bottom, and we were more looking at that to see if she could land that. This rail section up top, it was just
perfect.
So smooth.
It's insane.
Yeah. I mean, this is snowboarding at its finest. Just the style of it and, you know, that overall impression and that flow. She's got it here.
And on the side hit, she goes so high compared to everyone else.
She sent it really deep on that one.
And even the way she muscled the landing on that front 7.
Here, that's...
But right here, like you said, Anna,
huge.
just sent it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, she sits on the bubble. Side note, the backside 180 she did on the last hit could easily be a winner for the bonus hit contest.
Absolutely.
She landed that thing in the parking lot. But, oh, wow.
So 2 more riders, Zoe and Celia, left to go, both sitting outside of that top 6.
So when you're a Zoe and you have this window, how does that affect you? Because you know what's at stake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Zoe is so good under nerves. I don't know what I would do if I would be her, if I would play it safe to get into the top 6, or if I would do my hardest run, because her run started really, really good with the switchback 9 into the 7 out of the side hit, so it's going to be interesting to see.
Well, I think, too, with Zoe, like, she has that switchback side 9 pretty much on lock, and then she wants to do that backside 9 on the bottom jump, so if she tones anything down, I think it would be that transitional feature.
Yeah, I think so, too.
All right, so here is the switch back 9.
An opportunity to knock Jamie Anderson, who has won this event 6 times.
Not toning it down.
Nope, she went for the 7 and she lands it, and so goes for the backside 540 and gets it.
Wow, that was an insane run.
And really smart run, too.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. It was both technical, big, and smart. She played it safe on that last jump. Didn't go for anything too crazy. She's going to get up into that top 6, I'm pretty sure, which would mean Jamie Anderson
would be out.
Would be bumped out of the US Open.
Nobody saw that coming.
Did this ever happen?
Not in my recent memory, no.
I don't believe so.
Yeah. So here's the 50-50 frontside 360 with a grab. That's ridiculous, by the way. That is absurd that you can get that much air off of a rail in the middle of a slopestyle contest. And then 50-50 back 1 stale.
And then that sets herself up for the switch backside 9, one of the very few women doing it. And look at that grab, a
destroyed it. That was insane.
9.4 out of 10. And there's also something to be said about doing a switchback 9 on your first hit.
We might have a new leader.
A front side, she got a 9.3 on that transitional feature with that front side 7.
We might have a new leader, let alone knocking Jamie out the box.
I was going to say, we're so focused on where Jamie is going to land.
Look at that tech score, 44.
We might have a new leader here. We do.
Wow.
When she needed it, she delivered.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
And you said it, Anna. You're like, she's so good under nerve. Like, her nerves are so calm. She's great under pressure.
That was heavy.
That was heavy.
That was a fantastic run.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Anderson.
Well-deserved first place.
Yes.
Sadowski Sanat is in first, and Jamie Anderson, the 6-time slopestyle winner of the U.S. Open, is not in the final.
And last year's champion.
And last year's champ. Woo!
So now it is Annika Morgan from Germany currently sitting on the bubble in 6th place.
Wow. She would have never thought that.
Yeah.
Well, one more rider to go. It's Silja Norndal, who could easily upset that top 6. She has the ability. She had problems on that first run. So this is it for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the run that Silja puts down now, because she also could kind of play it a little more conservative, get up into that top 6, wait for finals on Friday. But I think Silja is going to put down the run that she's used to putting down, which isn't really a conservative run.
No. It's a top 3 run for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zoe could easily add to the run that she just did.
For sure.
Easily.
All right, so Silja on course. Final rider here in women's slopestyle semifinals. Switch 50-50, switch back one. Board slide up and over that Red Bull rainbow rail.
So the backside 720.
No.
Not going to do it.
That's it. Hand down.
Wow.
A lot of favorites out of finals.
Yeah. Lori Bluin not up in that top 6. Silja is not going to make the top 6. Jamie Anderson
And
not up.
I saw Lila in finals too. Like watching her practicing.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
But then on the other hand, there's that big opportunity now for someone like Zoe to come in and really just, put the icing on the cake of another fantastic season.
Yep.
Of her first fantastic season.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at the top of Silja's top run, that first rel, getting the score of a 6.3.
This trick.
Switch 50-50 to switch backside 180 out. I mean, that is technical.
Super impressive to switch 50 that rail. And then board slide back to regular. And let's see what goes wrong here on this backside 720.
She went really big.
Yeah, that
under-rotated.
I feel like in the first run that the pipe hit jump, the transitional feature was kind of the problem feature for some of the ladies. It seems like that then became the first jump of the course became a little bit of the problem feature. Like something happened, like maybe it's sped up or got a little too shadowed, but
yeah, it looked like making the commitment to really to land with speed deep was a real choice.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. We got our top 6.
Wow. Well, there you had it. We promised it would be an exciting semifinal, but I feel like it was the finals.
Yeah.
Zoe Sadowski-Synnott coming from way deep. I believe she was sitting in 8th or 9th place to post the best score of the morning, followed by Julian Marino, Annie Ruggiarvi, Miyabi Onitsuka, Haley Langland, and Annika Morgan. They are your 6. And like we said, these surprises of some big stars who will not be in the final. Louis Vito is with our number 1 qualifier.
So, Zoe, you fell on your first run. Going into your second run, what was your mindset like? Was there a lot of stress? What was your game plan?
Nah, I was kind of chilling at the top, just thinking that I wanted to put down a smooth run that I was like stoked on, and I wanted to get the front 7 out of the transition feature because I just learned it, and yeah, I was stoked on it.
You got a bronze medal in the Olympics. You get into X Games, you win X Games, and now you come to the US Open, put down a banger run on your second run, and win qualifying. Do you feel like everything's clicking for you right now? Some momentum?
Kind of, but not really. I'm like, this week I wasn't really feeling myself in practice. I'm a bit under the weather, and I just wanted to put something down smooth, which I'm glad I did, so that now I'm through to finals and hopefully build from there.
Do you have anything for us coming up for finals that we can be on the lookout for? I mean, you just landed a switchback 9 in qualifying.
Just hoping to get like 2 9s together. I'd be so stoked on that. So yeah.
Well, that was amazing to watch. Congratulations, and keep this momentum going.
Thank you. Thanks.
She's so cute.
Thank you, Louis. I like the confidence from the young New Zealander.
Yeah.
17 years old.
At 17 years of age. And Louis made some great points in his first questions about momentum. And traditionally, this is the type of event where you see people get to arrive and carry that momentum. It's easy to talk about just the big stars, but hey, strong performance in the Olympics, win a gold at X Games, and then come in here and be like, I'm not just happy to be here. I'm not slowing down.
It's almost like the U.S. Open every year cements a legacy or cements an introduction. All season, riders are building, podium appearance after podium appearance, and then at the U.S. Open, if you produce, it's official.
Yeah, and she told me earlier, too, that, after she won that bronze medal in Pyeongchang and she stood on the podium with the likes of Anna Gaster, she was like, that was such a life-changing moment for me, and it built such confidence knowing that, you know what, I have the ability. It builds confidence in her runs.
Yeah.
You can do a trick and you can land it a million times, but once you finally start getting rewarded for it, it completely changes your perspective.
Anna, would you agree?
Yeah, she for sure had such a good season, and she has a lot of confidence, and it shows in her riding. Not once in her run I was worried she would fall over. She just looked really strong, and I think she built that up throughout the whole season.
Absolutely. She looks stable on her feet, stable in the air, like she's always in control. I mean, that switch backside 900 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is a ridiculous trick.
Yeah.
I love how she talked about the 720. That I just learned that, so I'm happy, and now I'm looking forward to back-to-back nines. Well, let's look at our top runs, starting first with Annie, who really set a tone in her first run.
Yeah, and I feel like Annie Ruukajärvi is often not overlooked, but almost underappreciated how dominant she's been over the years because she's so mellow and so subtle, yet so powerful in her riding. We were talking in the booth about, this run here. She's going full speed into a slopestyle course, nonstop. It's really, really enjoyable to watch. Frontside 720 there from Annie. And then into this transitional feature here. Really smooth backside 180.
I'd have to say that was probably my favorite part of that jump because the way she landed it and how smooth she made it look with the speed and then combining it with these other big tricks like the cap 720 at the bottom. I mean, just the combinations, the style, the grabs, the speed, it was all there.
And I can very easily see Annie's back one being a back five in the finals.
And Anna, here was Julian Marino's run.
Yeah, Julia is so strong and consistent on the rails. I'm never worried that she would fall, which is I'm always more nervous on the rails than I am on the jumps, but with her, feel like she's so confident on all her rail tricks.
Yeah.
And of course, she has the double, and she can do that in her sleep. I've never seen her fall on it, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a time that I've seen her fall on that, and I cannot.
And doing that qualifying, that's big.
On the first jump, yep.
Yeah, a cab double into just a straight-up crippler on that pipe wall to land
into a backside 720.
That's a ridiculous run.
And then here's Zoe, who again was sitting in 8th or 9th place. And you said at the start, Anna, she has nothing but confidence.
Yes.
Woo. Well, and it's funny because, we were so caught up on, Jamie Anderson being on the bubble and is Zoe gonna knock her out? We completely overlook the fact that she is fully capable of putting down a winning run on any given day. That's how much momentum that she's gained over these past 18 months.
And you heard in the interview that she just learned that trick.
Yeah.
She just learned that frontside 720 on that transitional feature, so she does that, combines it with a backside 540. She can go backside 9 on that, and I think that's what she'll do.
That's what she wants to do in finals.
Yeah.
And it was really smart she went 5, I think.
I think so too. Put it to your feet, end up in first place with a conservative run, and you're looking good for finals.
17 years old.
Unreal.
There you see our final results and our top 6 who will be in our final. God, that just scares me for what we're going to see.
I'm so excited.
I'm nervously excited for the final.
I'm really psyched to see Haley Langley in the finals too, coming in 5th place.
Yeah, and she had surgery over the summer, and I talked to her at the beginning of the season, and she was sort of hesitant getting into the competition scene, and I think now, starting in January, February, she's really back to where she was, and not even back, but even better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. What a morning.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see Annika Morgan in there.
Oh, yeah.
You were saying how good she is on rails and that just to be part of the U.S. Open for her was big. And now she's in the finals.
Yeah, this is her first U.S. Open, correct?
Yeah, it's her first big contest, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
well,
making
she
top
delivered.
6.
Pressure for the men.
No kidding.
The dudes are up there at the top going like, wow, guys, there will be no chill in our semifinal, which is coming up in just about 90 minutes. If you have been not already, please talk to us. Get social. You can follow us at Red Bull Snow on Instagram, at Burton Snowboards. The hashtag is Burton US Open. Via the Facebook page on Red Bull and Burton, you can actually interact with us. Send us some questions. We got Anagasa here. I'm sure she wants to hear from you. So please tune in. And again, we will have our men's semifinal coming up in just about 90 minutes.
Wow.
Well, that was a great start.
That was an insane start.
And this is only Wednesday. Okay, mind you, this is only Wednesday.
Yeah.
This is the first day of real competition for the U.S. Open.
Totally.
So it's a pretty good start.
Yeah.
96 runs of joy. Well, if you have been enjoying what you're seeing today, that's not all we have for you. Tune in to Red Bull TV for more winter sports content, the latest live events, and the best snowboarding films and shows, the world's top athletes, inside views, and the greatest adventures. Tune into our winter channel and enjoy the season of snow right here on Red Bull TV. Anna, you are a natural analyst. Very, very, very strong. You are welcome in this booth anytime. I know you'd rather be competing, but thank you for bringing us your insight. It was a really special treat.
No, it was. It was great to have you here and just, talk about the women and people that you compete against, and you were giving them accolades about what they do great and their strengths, and it's super nice to hear. So excited to see you back on the snow, though.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in with us. In 90 minutes, there will be 32 men, 64 runs. The men's semifinal here at the Burton US Open of Snowboarding 2019. Come on back now, won't you? Once again, that is at 12:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and hopefully the skies will hold. I see some light clouds though coming in. That's the thing about Eagle County and Vail Valley, right? Anything is possible with the weather, and it just goes to show the importance of the women choosing to take full advantage of the conditions that we had earlier today.
Yeah, so that kind of we can ask the question now, what do we anticipate seeing in the men's competition in terms of tricks? Do they play it conservative?
Right.
Do they go full force? How do you strategize that now?
I don't know. I think they're going to put it all down.
I think they're going to put it all
Full
down.
force.
I think
Full force.
Such a perfect day, too.
Yeah, I think the men's semifinal is going to be very similar to the women here, where it's going to seem like a final. The big thing I'm looking forward to seeing is, Mark McMorris has been on such a roll so far this season. Can he continue? And can he three-peat at the U.S. Open? He's won the last two.
Yeah, but if someone had any say in that, it would be, I think, Chris Corning.
Yeah, Chris Corning is a beast.
Would, it was only a few years ago that he came out and nobody really knew who he was.
Yeah.
And he showed us his ability, and over those last few years, he's really stepped up and, had a couple very big wins this year already. So coming into this event with a lot of momentum as well.
I think I can firmly say that Chris Corning is not looking at this event as a semifinal today by any means whatsoever. I think his practice runs were probably, he was thinking they were finals runs. That kid sends it. He has no off switch.
Well, it's not going to be safe for any of the stars because the men's field, just like the women's, features so many hungry young kids in that 16 to 22-year-old range who are like, I'm not here to worship you. You might be my hero, but I am here to take you out and make a name for myself. It was a truly exciting women's semifinal that, once again, we'll just call it Final A, and we look forward to Final B. Here's some highlights from Final A, the women's semifinal. Celia Petrick was not afraid to send it with that front flip.
Haley was so good on the rails today. She put together one of the most impressive runs that we saw in the semifinals.
Her cap 7 was so stylish.
Yeah, cap 7 was absolutely insane, and we all do know that can be a cap double 10 come final time.
Again, it is just the beginning, and we're going to be doing this all the way through Saturday, so stay with us. Again, the men's semifinal in 90 minutes, 12:30 8:30 Mountain Standard Time, and we will see you then. Enjoy these highlights till then.